Hey, YouTube and Facebook. This is Paul, the Death Scouter, and I'm making another video for the Death Scouter YouTube channel where I've got a ton of great financial advice videos, financial guidance, even financial exercises where we put the numbers behind the theory to separate the beef from the bull. Today, we're adding to the library with this conversation about how to gift money to minors. So let's start off by saying that early investing and helping young people start their financial journey as early as possible is a brilliant idea. I'm going to use this Microsoft Excel worksheet to show you exactly the financial principles in play and running in the background that will be of phenomenal inspiration and support to your decision to give young people the gift of finances instead of just giving them money that they can spend, blow, and won't have 15 minutes after they open the envelope. So starting here on this Excel worksheet, we're going to take a look at giving a 5-year-old $200 a year. Now, it can be Christmas, it can be Hanukkah, it can be birthdays, could be Tooth Fairy, we don't care. But imagine giving a 5-year-old $200 a year and doing that through their 18th birthday and having that money invested into the S&P 500 stock index, which has averaged on any 10-year period 10 to 12% annual growth. So what we see in this phenomenal mathematical equation is that by year number 9 at a 10% return, your annual growth numbers equal or exceed your contributions. So if you can do this for a young person, or even for yourself for that matter, set this up for 9 to 10 years, you will have an investment money making machine that runs on autopilot. As I said, after 9 or 10 years, your annual growth numbers are exceeding what you were contributing in the first place. So let's take a look at what's really happening. So the secret to wealth creation in America is called compound interest over time. That means getting interest on your interest on your interest year after year after year. And we see that well on display in this worksheet, where your annual growth numbers are getting bigger every year, even after you stopped contributing. So take a look at this list right down where the contributions are 0, and you see that the annual growth numbers continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. This is the gift that literally keeps giving for the rest of their lives. So let's take a look at this on a graph. What we're doing is we're starting early and trying to get, or helping a person get to the point where their nest egg starts to become big enough that the formula for compound interest really starts to show its true value. Now understand, the formula doesn't change based upon the age you start doing this, nor does it change with the amount of money that you have in your principal amount, or what people may call their nest egg. What matters is that once the nest egg gets big enough and we apply this year's 10% growth, those numbers start to get bigger and bigger, noticeable and noticeable, more and more as the time goes on, to the point that suddenly the growth becomes exponentially impressive, and we see what is called the hockey stick graph. And now your earnings are going straight up. So don't be discouraged that your first couple of years you're not seeing anything impressive, right? You make a $200 deposit, you earn 10%, that's only $20, not life changing, but continue to do that year after year after year, or contribute enough money that your nest egg becomes large enough that the formula starts to generate exponential upward growth. This is truly a fine display of what we're after with compound interest over time and wealth creation. So now that we know why we want to do this, now that we understand what there really is to gain and give a lasting legacy to a gift, birthday, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever, now let's talk about ways that we can gift money to minors. And each of them comes with their own benefits and drawbacks. First is a custodial brokerage account. Then come bank accounts, brokerage accounts in your name that you're going to pass on to them in the future, even 529 college savings plans, or just keeping money in your name earmarked to give to a designated beneficiary at some time in the future, what I call my Paul 29 college plan. I'll explain that more in detail as we move on. And something that I have recently learned about, and let me say right from the get-go, I am not sponsored or being paid in any way by Fidelity Investments, but I learned about the Fidelity Youth account for teenagers, and I'm very excited about it. I will talk to you about it more as the video commences and we move on. But let me say now that this video, any of my video content, and certainly anything that you hear through TikTok and other social media outlets, please consult with a licensed financial advisor so that the decisions that you make are being made eyes wide open, cognizant of the benefits as well as any drawbacks, and you're making an informed decision always. No one cares more about your money than you, and it's up to you to protect yourself from bad advice. So here we go. Let's get into this. This is a custodial brokerage account. So this is where an adult would open up a brokerage account at a fine establishment like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, etc., and they will gift the money to a designated beneficiary. And when that person reaches the age of majority, they will become the owners of this account. Now, you as the adult will maintain all control over where the money is going, how it's invested, moving your investments around, but it becomes the responsibility of the beneficiary upon age of majority. So it's very much like a trust, but know that there are certain guidelines and principles in play when creating a custodial account. And actually, not all banks offer custodial accounts. The ones that I listed do, but you should do your research on them for your own edification as well. The next would be bank accounts. Now, these can be banks that you drive past, brick and mortar stores that you see lining the road, or they can be your online banks called high yield savings accounts. So these banks are offering today about 4.5% interest, while your brick and mortar bank is only offering less than 1%. But there is certainly a way for you to put money away for a youth. Now, let me offer an immediate word of caution. Because we are putting money away for a child, it stands to reason, or the argument and the assumption can be made, that this will be money that they don't need, won't touch, won't use for many, many, many years. So, yes, when you put money into a savings account, that money will always be there. However, you're fighting the corrosive effect of losing buying power through inflation. So money that is not going to be touched for many years, and I would say 5 years or more is the decent guideline. Money that will not be touched for 5 years or more should probably be more investment focused, where it's going to earn more money, than it should be savings focused. Savings protects what you have, investing works to get you more of it. Those are the differences between those two terms. So, if you're choosing a bank account because you simply want to know that the money that you're giving your beneficiary will be there, then you can open up an account. It can be a joint account. Word of caution, jointly owned means nothing stops your beneficiary from riding their bike to the store and withdrawing the money and buying baseball cards or the next Xbox console. It's jointly owned. It's theirs. They can do what they want with it legally. The other is to have the account in your name and they are marked as a POD beneficiary, which means payable upon death. they will become the owner of this account. Bypasses all wills, etc., but it is part of your estate. And if just so happens that your estate is in debt, you owe more money than you have, and you happen to pass away, your debtors can come and take this account and your beneficiary gets nothing. So know the goods and the bads when it comes to using bank accounts or brokerage accounts and having that money in someone else's name or being held for them POD or TOD. So in a brokerage account, we can have the same joint ownership option, or we can do a TOD where it transfers upon death, whereas a savings account was payable upon death. Nuance in the term, functionally the same thing. The other popular way of sending money to youth is to fund a 529 college savings plan. Now understand that these plans vary and are ran independently on a state by state basis. So you need to know how the plan is working in your state, as well as what rules and governing guidelines, what investment restrictions or limited options are available in your state, etc., so that you can make an informed decision. Also understand that the money that goes into a 529 plan must be used for an approved educational expense. And there are a variety of scenarios where there may be money left over, or a person doesn't go to college and you want to get your money out of the 529 plan. That comes with its own litany of rules, regulations, even penalties, and of course, even some exceptions as to whether or not you would want to get that money out or if you want to roll that over into a retirement account. Many options exist. Please know that you need to do your research on them to fully understand what you can and cannot do. And then there is my Paul 29 plan. Now, obviously, there's no such thing as a Paul 29 plan. This is simply what I am doing to aid my now 16-month-old grandson with another grandson on its way soon. This is what I am doing for them. This is money held in your name in a separate account, and you simply have earmarked that account that's what I'm going to use to give to my noted or intended beneficiary. Now, the nice thing about this is that there is tremendous flexibility and options, 100% control, and what it will cost you is 15, maybe 20% if you're earning more than 400,000 a year, but a 15% long-term capital gain when you go to withdraw this money. Now, what this takes into account is that there is a tremendous number of reasons why a person may not go to college. They may seek a career in the trades, they may go into the military, or perhaps they're going to be entrepreneurial in their endeavors. And now you don't need to have the money for a qualified education expense. What if your high school graduate is looking for some equipment to start a landscaping business or etc.? Now you have options on what you can do with that money. And of course, it also lends itself to the unfortunate incident that what if your now perfect angel reaches the age of 18 and their hair is 13 different colors and they want to get a Harley Davidson and ride off into the sunset to find themselves? Do you really want to hand over money to a person like that? Well, the Paul 29 plan allows you to have the flexibility to keep that money and not give it out if the person is, in your eyes, undeserving. So flexibility, options all the time. And here's the one I'm very excited about. And again, this is not sponsored. I'm not paid by Fidelity to mention this. I learned about this recently, and it is called the Fidelity Youth Account. This is intended for teenagers aged 13 to 17. They can go in and, very much unlike a custodial account, the youth have control over the money. The nice thing is that you, as the adult who has set this up, you too, by the way, must have a brokerage account at Fidelity, but you will get alerts and notifications as the youth are accessing their money and investing their money, And if they're not investing their money sits in a Fidelity money market account that is currently paying more than 4% interest. So, any way you look at this, this is actually a pretty exciting product and a great way to get engaged with teenagers and get them excited about financial investing, financial wisdom, financial knowledge that they are not getting in schools, not even getting in college. So, definitely take a look at this. I wish this existed when I was a teenager. So really, we're at the end of the video. I hope you found some of the conversation to be beneficial. Remember that there's two perfect times when you should plant a tree. 20 years ago, so you can benefit from it today, and today, planning and going forward from here. Folks, take a look at some of these links, like and subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. I really appreciate you watching. Share links to my videos in other Facebook or other social media groups where you discuss personal finance and money. And as always, thank you for trying to do something for people you love that will pay off dividends for them in the future. Thank you for doing your part to make America better, one generation at a time. See you in the next video.